The PvP toggle and guild features coming with Arcane Odyssey's magnum opus of an update that is full release is a bliss to most, if not all, PvE players out there, soon to gain invincibility from any PvPers who try to hunt them, those who want to do player versus NPC combat. Before, VTech disapproved of a PvP toggle for reasons I don't know, and which is because it stated most of the community was PvP, and making a toggle would kill any incentive to do any main game PvP. Then eventually after a while, VTech gave in for the demands and released a poll to add a PvP toggle, with critical acclaim, absolutely proving how many PvE players there are compared to the PvP community. Enough yapping, it's time to go into guilds. Guilds are a PvE version of clans, gaining reputation instead of infamy, and can only get reputation through doing PvE related activities like sinking partnerships, claiming dark sealed and sealed chests, etc, etc. Now that's out of the way, it's time to get into new spells. The technique can come with the full release, now with VTech adding Gallagher and Parkline to the development team. They have been adding new spells to give Mage more to work with. Up first we got Ray, with my golden illustration on Paint 3D. It's a new spell that can be learned with 340 magic. It is a spell similar to Surge, but instead of a continuous beam that you can drag with repeated high AoE and damage in its end. But it takes a brief moment of time to change the angle of the spell while aiming. Now this would be useful in PvP? Kinda. It can work as a punish move for spammers if it deals high enough damage, but has a brief time to change angle. A lot of the time spells will be good in player versus player combat. Next we got Meteor, a rare spell that can be learned with 180 magic. This spell allows you to conjure a massive magic circle in the sky from which a magical meteor will crash into the ground, resulting in a massive explosion at anything higher than 1. Anything higher than 1 of the meteors will be scattered instead of the location of the cast directly. This will work really well for the main game bounty hunting and wars depending on the startup, since AoE is the best in war situations. Conjure Elemental, a new lost spell technique that can be learned at 320 magic. Similar to Spirit Akariki, I probably butchered that. You can summon one of the multiple elements will fight alongside you with this. This will be good in wars and PvE, not so much in PvP, since assuming that the AI works similar to an NPC AI, it won't really move around a lot and will keep refreshing more. For the techniques we got Breathtaker, a new rare technique that can be learned at 220 strength. The user dashes forward in a line similar to Crash but much faster. Upon directly hitting a target, a vital point is struck, taking away the decent amount of the victim's energy and stamina alongside some damage. This will do really well in PvP, since energy and stamina are a large part of PvP, and the survival of a player without those two, you just die. Next we got Quake, a rare spell with 180 magic. It is a wide-ranging shockwave style explosion that can be scaled from 50 to 200 size. The skill will launch the enemy into the air. The smaller the radius, the more intense the quake is in both damage and height launch. It can only be used underground. This spell is good in wars, and like I said, AoE is everything in wars. Next is Annihilation, a new lost spell that can be learned at 280 magic. If you played back in Arcane Adventures, you know what it does and what it should look like, but in case you don't, your character leaps into the air and charges a powerful blast up ahead that can be thrown deep, dealing large AoE pulse damage. The move would be great in wars, since you can leap so high into the air and get out of the main part of combat, and you could also fire down something that can deal high damage over time whilst having large AoE. Lastly is Revenge, a lost technique that can be learned at 340 strength. The user enters a defensive stance for a brief duration, and any attack that would have dealt damage to the user is nullified and the attacker is counted. Now the user can do one of two things: teleport behind the attacker or fire an extremely fast projectile towards the attacker which automatically aims at them. Being that its feeling will both be good in war, PvE and PvP. The move, since its versatility is going to go out of rough situations, and the new addition of Poise and the previously mentioned move Breathtaker will be added, it will be really good. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, peace.